Ben Sr., he is what America produced after the Depression. Back in the day when the situation made the individual. And men like my father and Ben Sr. came out heads and above a lot of the other people because they had the work ethic and the moral fiber to do so.
My mom and dad met late 30s, early 40s.
Right before he went into war, he asked her for marriage before he went overseas, over the Pacific.
Started out as a bomber pilot in World War II. He flew over in the Philippines, the B-24 pilot. Flew many bombing missions.
He spent the better part of a year and a half over there, and when he came home, they moved to Elmer. Laury Heating is a family business. That's the way it was founded. My grandfather went into business as a Lennox dealer. This was in 1945. Dad came on right after that, coming home from the war, and became a salesman. Eventually took it over sometime in the late 50s. As my father started looking for other business opportunities, central air conditioning started coming along. And my grandfather said, "This is crazy, nobody's going to want to cool their house." But my dad pushed on.
We picked up the Carrier line in the mid-50s, and we were dedicated to that Carrier line, the quality first, and we were able to build a terrific business, and of course that helped make us the company we are today.
Ben Sr., to me, did a lot for Carrier and for the industry.
He was a very supportive Carrier in the formative years. I mean, he was there at the beginning in the 50s when there was just 1 or 2 units put in, and then he was there later when we were doing, 100 units a year or 200 units a year. He just watched that growth, and he was part of that growth, and he actually spread the Carrier name in South Jersey. Plus the kind of person he is. He's what exemplifies what Carrier is all about.
He was a very, very strong businessman. His whole focus was on customer service and treating his customers like he would his family. I've never heard anybody speak badly of Ben. And if there was anything that needed to be done, he would move heaven and earth to get that customer satisfied. And he always looked at the long term versus the short.
He portrayed his name and Carrier as being quality names. And he profited from Carrier, and Carrier profited from him. So it was a win-win situation.
He has meant millions of dollars of volume over 60 years. He's also been even more than that because there's been a multiplying effect. Ben has convinced other dealers in the marketplace that they should be doing business with Carrier and that they have the kind of integrity and products that can make them successful in the future.
He taught me a lot about not leadership, but servitude, being a servant. Not only in church, in the government, and the business. That's what he taught, not to be so much a leader, but to be a servant.
He was involved with Rotary Club for decades, Borough Council. He helped start the Fuel Merchants Association of South Jersey, which is still going today. So he wasn't afraid to work to make his community better.
One thing that is totally remembered by is his faith in God, and his love for his family. And then the business came next. But he kind of molded the three together and was part of his life.
A lot of people say the right things. He not only said the right things, he lived the right things.
His faith was all about being honest, and that carried right over into the business. He was honest with the customers. He wouldn't lie to the customers. I think that carried over, and people saw that.
His reputation was impeccable. I don't know how else to describe it. He stood for everything that you would want somebody and or a company to stand for.
The most important thing about him was that he had his priorities right. God was first, family was second, business and everything else was after that.
He was a family man, but his family incorporated not only his immediate family, but included the business. The people in the business, his employees, were his family.
Cared about his workers. He always cared about them. That's one thing not too many bosses do.
When he asked you a question about yourself personally, he cared. And just, business was business, but he also cared about you as a person.
It was like it was part of your family. I call him Dad.
Ben was like a grandfather to my daughter, because when she would come in here, he would treat her just like he treated his kids.
Ben was amazing as far as transitioning his business from one generation to another. I've never seen anybody do it as well as Ben did. Not only did he train his family, his 5 kids, and transition the business to his 2 sons, Ben and Ted, but he set the values for them, got them going in the business, and then was able to step away. And nobody usually can step away once they've given the business. And he did it while still working. He was able to change hats. He took the manager's hat off, stuck the worker hat on, and did everything he could to support that company and his sons and make them successful in the business.
He kind of backed off on the business portion of it, but he just came in to interact with everybody. And then when he finally couldn't come into work anymore, you know, that took a lot out of him.
You know, he always had time for other people. And I guess that's why not only I had a lot of respect for him, everybody respected him. He was a good man.
We're all going to miss him very much.
The man was just a spirit that, to me, I know he's not with us now, but I know to me he's an angel, and he's looking down right now, and he's smiling, he's happy.